Bullying up friends and family, Viliki here, Village to Build. First of all, I want to say thank you again to all the new followers, the new subscribers for jumping on board this journey. Very much appreciated. We welcome you. Hope you guys enjoy what we've got going on here. And to everybody that's been vibing with us from the start, thank you for sticking around. This episode, we've got James Pickering. James Pickering, one of the legends of the Fiji Batis and one of our old captain from back in the days. Thank you for jumping on, sir. We are able to talk about a lot of things. James Pickering also chairs AFRL, Australian Fijian Rugby League. They do a lot of work for the community here in Sydney, working with the young people through age group rugby league games and make sure the community just come together to support our little nation back home. And James touches on growing up in New Zealand and playing union and also how he made the switch to league. And going on to playing for Fiji Bati with some of the big names of sevens back in those days. And it was a good chat we had with him. And we hope you guys enjoy this one. Oh, and also AFRL, they're having Fresh for Life Talks, 19th of October. The link is on the Instagram page. I will put a link at the bottom for that. And just a space for people to feel comfortable to come and talk about whatever's happening, especially in these times we're in. They've got a little space there if people can jump on Zoom and just have a little, maybe if you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous, and just to see where they can help in whatever struggle you guys are going through. So we thank you again everybody for supporting the channel. Shout out to Salah for letting us kick back in his backyard for this one, aka Gorilla Gym, and we hope everyone enjoys this one with James Pickering. Vinaka.
I'm proud of 679. From my land I would die, and you know I don't lie.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Village to the World. As you can see, it's your boy Viliki and Pastor P on the outside. And today we're joined by a very, very special guest, Mr. James Pickering.
Vinaka.
Vinaka, sir.
The High Chief. Everyone sit down. If you're watching at home, sit down. Just joking.
James Pickering, aka The Fridge.
Oile.
Thank you for jumping on, sir.
Vinaka, brother. Thank you for having me.
I'm just
gobsmacked.
yeah, it's hard to speak at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm stuttering on the inside.
Also, as you can see, we've changed up our surroundings a bit. We hosted today by one of our good brothers, Salavute. As you can see, that's the Gorillas gym at the back. We just finished the session. But yeah, it's good to get out of the what do you call it, the confines of a room and get out and be in a bit of an open area. But again, thank you again, Mr. Picker, for coming down.
Vinaka Vili.
For those watching at home, they're not familiar with Mr. Pickering. He's a legend in his own right with the Fiji Bati and also the current chairman of the AFRL, Australian Fijian Rugby League, and also played a few years in England. But we're going to ask Mr. Pickering just to share a bit of his story from growing up. Where were we born, sir? And all
okay. I'm originally from Rarawai in Ba, and my vasu is
Dubai.
Korotongo Baravi in Nandrunga.
Oh.
My family, we immigrated to Auckland, New Zealand back in the 70s, and I pretty much, myself and my sisters, I have 3 sisters. We grew up in Onehunga in Auckland, New Zealand, and from there travelled to Australia, England, back to Australia, and I'm here now.
Oh.
Still in Australia. And
So
stop calling me Mr. Pickering. I feel like I'm gassy, man.
It's a bad habit because in class 3 in Latoka, one of my teachers' name was Mrs. Pickering. So every time I come across a Pickering, it's just automatic Mr. or Mrs. Sir, Madam. Yeah, so you grew up, you were born in Fiji and then went to New Zealand, Onehunga. Is that where you started playing?
So it was by accident. I fell into rugby league. Growing up in Onehunga and in New Zealand, really everybody was into rugby. Of course, I always followed the Fijian national side, and everybody's dream to grow up in New Zealand, whether you're come from a Fijian background, Samoa, Tonga, you want to represent the All Blacks.
Blacks, yeah.
So up until I was 15, 16, it was just rugby union, and I just came across the league by chance. We were playing first 15 on one ground, and the next ground there was a league game going on, and one of our boys, his cousin, was coaching the league side, and they were short of players. I didn't know what rugby league was, and he just asked, "Hey, you guys, any of you guys want to play?" And I said, "Oh, I'll play," And from that one game, man, I just fell in love with league,
Yeah.
So I was playing first 15, and we play on the Saturdays, first 15. Once that finished, I'd jump on the bus and go straight to my league game. And then it just started like that. I never told my dad.
You were backing up.
Yeah, I never told him I was playing rugby league because, would have been a bit of a tap here and tap there.
Because back then, rugby league the rugby union was obviously the biggest sport, and rugby league was still growing.
Yeah, rugby league was, it was sort of a working class game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what rugby league is now. There was a core group of followers in New Zealand. It was different in Australia, but New Zealand was a real working class game, and it suited like a lot of us Polynesians and Melanesians, because of the contact and the camaraderie.
Yeah.
But and rugby union was not like a private school game, but all the
Rich people.
all the rich people and the guys that they went to the grammar schools and all of that sort of thing. Whereas league was not so much backdoor, but it was just like a working class thing.
So, with playing rugby league, how old was it when you first started playing?
I was 15. I started under 16s at the mighty Richmond Rovers, Richmond Bulldogs in Greyland. It was an inner city team. Even though I lived in Onehunga, which was South Auckland, I travelled in there, and there was a lot of Samoan, Tongan boys there, and Kiwi. Like back then, there were a lot of Kiwi boys too. Still some of my best friends to this day, even though we live in different countries and stuff like that. I hardly see each other, but the friendships that we developed, still with us today. It's been a surreal journey, really.
It would have been a different time back then too, because that was like what we said 80s.
Yeah, man. Back in the 80s,
That's around the time of the pyramids and
That's when I started. I was going to uni.
Back there, it was a different game. It was there's a lot of I don't know how you call it. There was a lot of softening up period. The first 10 minutes was usually like WWF. But that was the way the game was then. It's obviously different era now, and but it was exciting. It was exciting, and to come through that era. It's different rules. 5 meters.
It was
5 meter rule. Yeah.
Whoa.
So there wasn't much time to think about what you're going to do back then. But if you watch those old games, some of those games and the way they played is unbelievable compared to now. Everybody sort of does the same thing now.
Yeah.
But you had, not only was it tough, there was a lot of talented guys back then. We probably weren't as fit as these guys, and we didn't look like. I know I've never looked like Sonny Bill or Salavute, but
oh no, it's hard to look like Salah. Very hard.
Can we the gorillas?
He's on a cheese diet, apparently.
Yeah.
He eats a lot of cheese.
The only six-pack I had was maybe Vonu beer or something, Fiji bitter, but it was different. It was definitely different.
Yeah. So advancing on to rugby league and like you're playing rugby in rugby league, when did it be? At what level or what year or how old were you when you thought, look, I can actually have a crack at this and play first grade or represent Fiji? How did
Yeah, like league wasn't even in Fiji back then, like
Oh.
through the 80s. And it was a different time. I never thought that I could have a career, you know.
Mm.
Back then, league was, or you know, any sport was to be with your mates and share the weekend
Yeah.
and train. By the time we played under 18s, a few from our side were pulled into the first grade, similar to first grade there, and I never thought I could make a career or travel, because we all had jobs.
Mm.
You know, we all worked and we trained maybe 2 nights a week, played on the weekend, and I don't know. I never looked at it like, oh, I want to make it and be this and be that here. It was just something that we were drawn to. The opportunity came. I actually came to, I think it was 88, 87, 88. I came for a holiday
To Australia.
yeah, to Sydney, and I only came for a 2-week holiday. I was living with my auntie in Pyrmont, Sean and them. Sean's mum, yeah.
Sean Millie.
Yeah.
Hey, sir. Shout out Shawnee.
Sean was only a
Red from All
little,
Blacks.
he was a little boy there, you know? Little big boy. And I stayed with my auntie there, and my uncle, her husband, who was a big South supporter, he actually said, why don't you go down to South's training? They got a open training. So he took me they were training at Centennial Park. I went down there, man. There's about 90 guys down there, you know.
Oh.
And it was unreal to see, like, the Les Davidsons and, you know, those guys coming through, Mario Finnick, Craig Coleman and all of them. But I just thought, oh, man, you know, I did 1 or 2 sessions and I thought, oh, I'm not going to get noticed here. A weekend later, some of the old boys from Richmond, they were living in Cronulla, and I went out there for the weekend, and they said the same, go down to Cronulla and trial, stay with us. So I stayed there. I just rocked down to, it was called Endeavour Field then, and I rocked down there and started training. It was really good. They welcomed me. Craig Fitzgibbons, who's at the Roosters, his dad was the head coach there. Yeah.
Dad.
His dad was the head coach there, along with some icon. Ron Massey was an icon of the game. Artie Beaton was helping out down there too. So I went down, trained. I played 4 trial games, and it was promising. You know, the last trial game. They actually said, you know, we were thinking about keeping you on, signing you, and I broke my arm.
Whoa.
Yeah, I broke my arm, and I was pretty much it for, you know, I was out for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Well, 8 weeks back then. None of this magic surgery there.
Mushroom.
So,
Magic mushrooms.
yeah. So they said to me, you know, we want you to stay, hang around. Once your arm heals, play in the local comp. Like back then, the local comps were really strong, you know. And so my arm healed. I played for De La Salle, and but I couldn't get a job, you know. I couldn't find a job, and one of my good friends was playing up at Newcastle. Newcastle entered the comp, and he was playing. James Goulding was up in Newcastle, and he rang me. No mobile phones, because there's no mobile phones those days.
He's a pigeon, eh?
Yeah.
You guys used to...
Just the lolly, man. He rang me and said, why don't you come up to Newcastle, you know, and see how it goes. So I went up to Newcastle and played the 1990 season. I played up there in the local comp for Lakes United. And it was a real eye-opener, you know, because the Newcastle comp was always strong. and a sort of introduction into professionalism and how the Australians approach the game. But same thing, I couldn't find work. My oldest daughter was born up there, and so I decided to return back to New Zealand. Went back to Auckland just because home was there, and the family was there, you know. And 92, Fiji started playing league, man. And for us, a lot of the island boys, we never had opportunity to represent our country in league, you know. They had the Pacific Cup. The first Pacific Cup was played in Auckland in 92. Not the first, sorry. There was one before, but the first with Fiji in it. And I was lucky enough to captain that team along with Alferetti Indere. The boys had come over from rugby union. Yeah, you know. And it was a big thing for them because they were ostracized by union back then. Yeah. You know, Indere, Pauliasi Tumpulutu, Pio Kumbuai, all the Sevens boys. Pio Nakumbuai. They were really treated badly by the union and that sort of thing back home, you know.
Because they decided to jump to...
Yeah, they decided to take part in I think the Sydney Sevens had, and they represented Fiji. And but for me, it was like a dream come true, man. You know, that is funny. That same year, I had a trial to make the Kiwis. Yeah. And the trial was in Wellington, and before the game, they had probables and possibles. So our side were the probables, you know. They had a lot of boys come back from playing in England and Australia, and most of us local guys were playing in the possibles team. And one of the selectors said to me, "Hey, you've got a chance to make the Kiwis, but you know, I was pretty not messy, but I didn't care about pulling my socks or tucking." And he said to me, "You know, if you tuck your jersey in and pull your socks up, you might have a better chance of making it." And I was like, "What the hell?" And then at the same time, league, you know, started in Fiji. So we played the trial, and I said to them, "Oh man, if I'm going to be judged on my appearance, you know, and not how I play, I'm going to pledge my allegiance to Fiji." And the selector said to me, "Man, if you do that, you'll never play for the Kiwis ever." Yeah. And you know, back then, I probably like you guys, I didn't really take too kindly to authority back then, so I just said, "Oh yeah, whatever," you know. And I was never invited to another Kiwi trial. I never got the opportunity, where a lot of my friends, a lot of the Samoan and Tonga boys, they got to represent New Zealand, you know. Yeah. But man, it never bothered me to play and captain Fiji. It was unbelievable, you know. Yeah, unbelievable for me, and for my dad to see too. You know, those times of sneaking away and playing league. Didn't have to give me a hiding anymore. "Oh, you play for Fiji now?"
Yeah. So you were there pretty much from the start when Fiji kicked off their rugby league journey.
Pretty much, yeah. Us, you know, all those boys that came over from the Union Sevens, Lina Langi. There were quite a few Fijian boys in. Tui's dad, Ratu Orisi. You know, there's some legend names there from the start. And I went and played in England, and every year, if they had a tour, or Queensland residents would always come and play in Fiji. I'd pay my own fare back. You know, we didn't have money, but I'd come back to Fiji. That was my highlight, to come back and be with the boys here. It was unreal, man. Unreal.
Wow. Are you amazed to see, like, you know, being one of the pioneering ones back in the days to now. Are you amazed to see how far the game's come, like especially for the Fiji team now?
Oh, definitely. You know, and I'm still in touch through social media with those boys like Volono, Daku Tonga. You know, we used to dream. We used to dream back then, and Piona Kumbawai. Man, imagine, you know, in the future, like the opportunity for our youth, because we always knew the talent was there, you know. But to see like 27, 28 odd years to where we are now, man, is like a dream. It was like that dreaming back then to seeing the reality now, and the talent and the boys that we have. It's scary. It's scary, man. It's really scary. And with what's going on in Fiji at the moment, you know, with the Kaiviti silktails and how Steve Driscoll and Petero have worked hard the last 5 years to get to where they are. You know, it's unfortunate that COVID has kicked in, but man, you know, we could be anything. We could be anything the next few years.
You got Wes over there?
Wes, man, that guy's going to play again. Look,
Nah.
yeah.
He's looking like he's fit enough to
Whoa,
play.
he's fit as doing 600 push-ups.
Man, Wes, man.
Showing the boys over there pumping out 50 kg dumbbells.
Man, shout out to Wes, man.
Shout out to Kapitani Wes Ngama. Keep doing it. Is he the coach? Is it what?
He's the coach for the Silktails, and they just announced about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's the first time for a national side to leading into a World Cup. Joe Daku Tonga is the head coach.
Big Joe.
Wes is one of the assistants along with Joey Saukuru, you know, so it's another dream that we have a like Fijian representation in the coaching staff there. You know, Steve Driscoll will be the head trainer. You know, obviously we've got Fijian management, Fijian coaching staff, you know, and we have the best of the NRL aligned physios and doctors that'll be with us. So it's unreal for Fijian Rugby League at the moment.
So for the guys at home, like the Silktails team is going to be in the New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, I think they're originally Ron Massey, because they're like similar to how the PNG side is up in Queensland.
Yeah.
For the last few years, they will start in the Ron Massey, but excuse me, because of COVID, I gather they've got some news regarding next season. You know, that they might go into the Ron Massey straight away. But they've set up different training facilities in the main centres, East Nandronga, you know, around Singatoka. They've set up gyms and programs for a lot of the young up and coming kids and getting them into a similar system to what we have here.
Yeah.
And already, like you know, I've been in contact with Steve and Wes sends through the development of the boys and their training there. Man, it's like you guys in this gorilla gym, you know.
Them.
Yeah, you walk in here and walk out a new man. But over there, it's in the space of 3-4 months. Their numbers and their improvement is unbelievable.
Wow. Because so after your playing days, you sort of turned your attention to sort of like what you were saying, make sure the pathway is there for the young Fijians coming up.
Yeah. It was funny. The AFRL was already an organisation before myself, Steve Driscoll, and Manoa Thompson got involved in 203. We could see that there wasn't really an outlet for our youth and the older guys to one, represent their heritage and their culture and be together as a group. You know, we knew rugby league. That was what we knew, and that was our platform to sort of take over from the original guys that started. And that year we had our inaugural under-16s AFRL team, and I think we had maybe 18 boys. They came from everywhere. That gang, they came from Campbelltown, some came from out west Liverpool. They came from everywhere. They'd all catch the bus down. We trained at Botany, and they had guitars, and it was one of the best things seeing those kids turn up. Obviously they're married and fathers and that now, but and that was how we started. And we won. They had the Harmony Cup. It's called Harmony Cup. It was the Pacific Nations Cup back then, and we won the first one. And we've been pretty much in every final or semi-final since then. And that was how it started. A lot of those guys just played normal park footy, and it wasn't so much about, come and be a part of our group, you're going to make it. It was just for us to get our youth together and for them to feel connected. Like connected, like you guys. You guys, as you guys got older, like your group of guys have all come through at some stage and been a part of that organisation. And I know Phil and Asala's on the board. You guys come down and help out whenever they can. The guys that have kicked on and had awesome careers, Kane Evans, Eloni Vunake there, Api Korosau, they all come back. They all come back and help out when they can. Marcelo Montoya, there's all the kids that have kicked on come back and help us. Some of the younger guys coming through, Darius Miller, Joseph Ratu, they all come back and help out. Even if they never made it, they all come down and help out in any way they can. So it's been a blessing for us to be where we are.
Because it's sort of like growing up and seeing the young people, like, yes, they can play for the different clubs, but when they come to an organisation like AFRL, Australian Fijian Rugby League, it's sort of like, I'll play with my Kaiviti brothers.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's
I'll
it.
play with my Fijian brothers and in Harmony Cup and all that. I think there's something that we sort of got out of it, like playing all together. Like, even though we all played for different clubs, but when we came and then had a run, it was always playing with the other Fijian boys. And essentially, it's also like pretty much how I think the way you definitely know how these kids must be feeling, because you sort of kicked off like that as well. I would believe, growing up overseas and then
of course,
coming together.
It's hard when you like for me back then, there weren't many Fijians around, and it's hard when you grow up in that in our households, because we grow up like we're still back in the koro, and when we get to hang out with people that understand our jokes and understand our culture, you don't want that to end. And we see it all the time when we have like Bati camp. The same thing, the boys coming from all different clubs, but when they get into Bati camp, it's like, man, we're trying to be as professional as we can, but we understand that, man, we're Fijians first, we're Fijians first, we're family first, we're, religiously we're all about praising the Lord's name and everything that we have, and that's where it's different to be a part of it. It's similar to what you guys got out of it when you were back there,
Can definitely tell that like it was more than just footy as well. Like you were saying before, it was definitely a place where we can all just come and be comfortable. And just like you said, not everyone's going to crack it.
Definitely. It's not just about footy. Like, we could have all been, I don't know, playing table tennis or something. But it's just the thing that sort of joined us. And it's never meant. We've never said, hey man, if you don't make it,
Don't come back.
Yeah, don't come back.
Yeah.
But next time you come, bring some food, all right?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's never been about that. We've never we've never had players or kids come and we say, man, this kid can do this and do that. We all share, like, you know. For us, it's been more about being together and being culturally together, spiritually together. You know, we try and keep everything in perspective. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's it's a game, but the real game is our lives together. You know, growing together and looking after each other, keeping our values. Our parents taught us that's the real game. You know?
Yeah.
Like when you first came from overseas, do you reckon rugby, especially rugby league, would have been sort of a safe haven to sort of deal with the struggles that you had to deal with coming from overseas to New Zealand, or or being in Australia? Do you reckon sport was a big help in sort of helping you transition, just to settle into a new atmosphere?
Yeah, sport definitely was, because like obviously coming from the islands, we spend our whole youth running around, or like from the time we wake up, you're chopping firewood for breakfast to get the fire.
Yeah.
You know, you're never like kids today. They're sitting around playing on their phones, and there's none of that back in those days. So athletically, we were always gifted, and it helped. It helped coming through school and transitioning into everyday life in New Zealand and in Australia, because everybody, they love the sports stars, and if you're good at sports, people praise you, but at the same time they can ride you down too. You know?
Yeah.
But I notice like the stereotype for us.
Yep.
is always sports, but we have so many other talented people in all sorts of forms of life, like art, everything. It's just, you've just got to get out of that stereotype zone and trust your talents. We all have talents. It's just the sacrifice you make to make it work.
Yep. It must be pleasing to see as well, like a lot of boys come through the system and they do really well. Like you can see Isaac Lumilume, who's someone that didn't really talk that much growing up, and now he's doing really well interstate over there in Melbourne. Then you got the likes of Marika and Tangele and those boys, even though they're at a different...
It is. It's, like I say, the talent's there. They just needed an opportunity, They needed somebody to not look at them as a risk, or that's going to cost us, because clubs look at, oh man, I bring a kid from Fiji, that's costing us $40,000. He might not make it, but that's the type of mentality. But the reward is, like you say, like it doesn't matter what they're doing. Like you look at Tangele now.
Oh yeah,
like he played league. He could have done anything in league, but it's taken him to union, and the life that he has compared to things in that now. Like I think the best part for us, and whenever Steve and I are together, we talk about the different kids that have come through, or I keep saying kids because I'm an old man, but the biggest reward I think for us is like I see you guys, you know what I mean? And where you guys are now, and your group, and how you guys have evolved to be where you are now compared to 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
10 years ago, it'd be like some different couch would be lying on
all right.
But you know what I mean? Like some of you's you become fathers. You've been married in relationships, and you're doing your stuff like Village to the World, and getting out there and putting back into the youth coming through. Man, that in itself is says a lot about how you guys have evolved, and that anybody can evolve. You know, anybody can evolve.
Yeah, and I think that's the good thing about AFRL, which was like it sort of kept the momentum of like being together in a safe space.
Yeah,
I think that's what, like, you know, training together, you know, and like, you know, we had the regular barbecues here and there, but connecting together with the Fijian brothers and the sisters and that with through the community with AFRL, I think it sort of kept that kept that friendship close.
yeah,
And I think that's the beauty of what you guys do as in the community.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is for us, you know. Like Joey Sakuru has been like the head coach and development there, and every year we just shake our heads, and you know, like last year we had like 150 odd kids turn up to our first training, and every year we just shake our heads, man, this is crazy. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's crazy in a good way. You know, like you guys say, and it's not to say like we've had a lot of good come out of it, and you know, the last, especially this year, we've had a lot of sadness, a lot of bad, you know, but that's what we're here for. We're trying to help people that you know maybe feeling like alone or struggling with whatever. We're there to help, you know.
Yeah, because like footy is, like we were talking about before, it's like an outlet for people, and if you also create that community and sense of family around that outlet, I think kids that will not be able to open up anywhere else, they're already comfortable playing footy within the organization, or they might as well, you know, talk to these people about things that are going on as well. And yeah, I think you got a good team with Steve. Steve's pretty good too. Sometimes it's just a bit red off.
I love you, Steve.
That's for the forward, that's for the back.
Oh, some of those days, eh?
So what's Steve's job at the moment with what you guys do?
Steve still helps out in the background with the AFRL, but he the last few years he's sort of running his own business, Pacific Cleaning Facilities, and he's also he's stepped in to be the CEO for the Silk Tails, which is, man, that, you know,
huge.
If anybody knows Steve, he doesn't do anything half-hearted. You know, it's 100%, and he gets things done. You know, like, and it's just huge what they've achieved in the last 4 or 5 years to be where they are, and it's only going to get bigger with the things they have planned, and you know, like Biggie said, it was all a dream before.
Shout out to Biggie, eh?
Ziggy?
Ziggy. Yeah, Ziggy's doing really well.
Ziggy said that.
No, but I think it ties into what you guys are about to kick off as well, with the Zoom chat coming up during kicking off tomorrow, I think. Yeah. Just to elaborate a little bit on what it's all about.
Yeah, well, you know, the board we're a bit worried with the environment that's happened with the the COVID situation, and we haven't had an opportunity for all our kids to be together, and so we decided to try and set up a Zoom page which is called Fresh for Life Talks.
It's going to pop up here.
Talks.
It's going to pop up. It should pop. Yeah.
Which will kick off tomorrow evening, 6:30. Joey Sakura and I will kick it off. We don't know what we're doing, but it's more just to be out there and in our community, to be there for any of our youth or their parents that are struggling with their day-to-day situations that have risen from the environment we're in now. We're going to go through a range of topics. It's not about rugby league. It's more about life and how you guys struggling in school or finances, work, socially, we're there to talk. It's an open forum, open and safe forum. You don't have to, if you want to be anonymous, be anonymous. We're not there to judge. We're there for, to help as best as we can. If we can lead people into professional help if they need it, that's what we're there for. It's we try and keep it as light as we can. So we'll kick off tomorrow, and then every 2 weeks, we'll have special guests on that can, similar to what you guys are doing, take us through their life experiences and stuff like that. Like I say, it's not just for Fijian people. It's open for anybody, whether you're European, Australian, Samoan, Lebanese, whatever. If you feel like you need help, we're open to everyone. We're open to parents if they're struggling with work or struggling with your kids, like these parents used to. We're there to help. We're there to help as best as we can.
Yeah, that'll be good because people can call in and be anonymous.
Yeah,
It's sort of just like to get things off the chest.
Yeah, that's
anything,
it.
Yeah?
You can talk about anything as long as you, you're not degrading to people or it's not something there to ring up and swear and go. We're there to help anyone as best as we can. Like I say, it's we're not there to judge. We're there to come up with solutions because things are hard. We had a situation the last couple of weeks where one of our up and coming boys, has taken an action that will cause a reaction to his life and the lives of those, and it's we don't know personally what the situation is, but we want to be able to help, and before you get to that situation, and two, we want to be there for him or anybody else to help through this. It's not something where you see it on TV and you go, oh man, what a stupid, what's this? We're not looking to blame. We want to help.
What's done is done.
Yeah, that's
what
it.
Can we do to?
Every action that we do, it doesn't matter how small, there's always a reaction. We just want to help any way we can.
You're right. Like one is the with the COVID thing happening, and then with that happening with one of the up and comers, how does one react, kind of thing, is there someone to talk to, or how do I control the situation? And do you think if that person's family came up to you and Mr. Pickering, we sort of need help on how to maneuver this, is that something they could do as a family to sort of?
Oh, definitely. We're always there to help. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If people need help, we will help as best as we can. Previous years we've been to try and help out in the juvenile detention centres when we can, and it's not about us. It's not about us doing this to show people we're doing it. It's something the board has discussed the last few months, and we're lucky that we have a platform that we can do it. And we've all been, I'm not perfect. I've done a lot of bad things in my life that I've been lucky that it hasn't escalated to other things, apart from my father's belt, but you know what I mean. You live and learn. That's what life is. You live and learn, but you have to, your actions. You got to think about the consequences for everything you do. And it's unfortunate, but the biggest thing for me is kids, our youth or any youth, getting caught up in this bloody gangster life mentality. It's, man, when I was young, it's not like it hasn't been around. Like when I grew up in Onehunga or New Zealand, everybody was aligned to gangs, but it wasn't like an ego thing, you know. We're tribal people. We like to be in that family environment, whether it's as a village or as whatever. But you know, I see kids going on, like we were talking about before, going on about, you know, oh, you're from Liverpool, I'm going to do something because you're from Liverpool, or you're from, you know, you know what I mean? What is that? That's you know, that doesn't represent anything.
Yeah, last time I checked, we're all from Earth.
That's it, bro. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it's, there's things happen, and your consequences, you never get that time back. You never get that time back, caught up in that sort of, you know, that it's like a make-believe life, you know? Make-believe life. I can do this and I can get that. That's not living, man. You hurt everybody around you. You hurt your family. You hurt the people that you're doing stuff. You hurt yourself. You know, you hurt yourself.
Oh, but it's good to know that you know, like AFRL is there for all the kids coming through. Like we're products of the AFRL as well, and it's good to know that there's a comfortable space that's going to open up through that Zoom chat where families and kids can call in if they feel if they're feeling a little bit distressed, or they just want to have a chat.
That's it. That's what we're hoping, man. We're hoping. It's the same as you guys, you know. You're putting it out there in the community of the good things that are happening in our community, and we have to put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's no more the stereotype of, hey, you guys just kick to the back. We're happy that you're good at sports, or you're good at
stay in a lane.
Yeah, that's it. We're not about that life anymore. You know, we have our own thoughts, our own ideas. You know, it's like we go to school and you study history. You know, that's not our history. That's history written by like colonial people.
Come on now.
You know?
Come on now, talk to me.
Oh, you know. I'm not saying, like, I'm married to an Australian woman. My kids are all Australian, but our history is totally different to what's written in the history books. You know, like real Fijian history or real ethnic people's history is totally different. Like you can't say so-and-so discovered this country when there's people already living here. You know, that's not a discovery. Our people, Pacifica people, were navigating the seas how many thousands of years before, you know, before the history book said, oh, we made a boat and we discovered this land. A lot of modern day things has come from ethnic people. You know, no, that's not our history. What is taught in schools?
No, it's deep. Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You're spitting truth right there.
You know, it's important for our kids. Like I never thought like that when I was young. Yeah, you just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good at this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we have so many talented people there that are too scared to
step out of
step out of that. That's it. And one, because hey, ourselves we put people down too. You know, our own people down.
We're the worst sometimes.
We ride them down. You know, like Rock and Cav. They're not even funny. Those guys. No, I was only joking.
Nah, they're dry.
I was only joking because I've seen them on here before. But you know what I mean? Like we put our own people down when we see them doing good. You know.
You're funny, boys. Picker's only joking.
I was joking, boys.
Call the Zoom line.
I was joking. I remember when you were small boys. You know?
It's awesome that you played with Tui's dad, eh?
Yeah, man. There's some of the stories. Tui's dad, like everyone who knows Tui's dad, he's only got one eye, and our nickname for Ratu Orisi was hard to kill. Because right, when he got the ball, there's nobody gonna tackle him, you know. And every time he got the ball, it's hey, hard to kill. He just run over people. Doesn't matter, forwards, backs, legs going everywhere.
Everyone.
Legs going everywhere.
And his son?
His son, that guy is easy to kill.
Easy to kill, man.
Kill.
Tui, easy to kill.
But
Oh man.
but it was, I came to the Dogs, and Ratu came at the same year, you know. And when I first came, we were living in Belmore, where the car park is now. They had clubhouses there, and they had their own place. Tui, man, was like a skinny little boy from the Koro, you know, just running around, afro, everything, big smile every day. Tui, whatever. He's like, yeah. And it was good for us because myself was there. Stan Tulevu was also in one of the clubhouses with the other country boys, and for me, like you were talking about the transition to come, I'd come straight from England to there, and it was like our escape to go to Ratu Orisi's house, you know. We were still eating like biloni tea and biscuits on the ground, and like the Aussies would come, whoa, what's going on with these guys? We're Fijian, mate. You know, it's not going to change for us. It was awesome, man.
The little Tui running around in his diapers.
Yeah.
He still wears diapers too. Nah, just joking, bro.
We love you, Cam.
No, but they're doing well, those two boys.
Yeah.
Rock and go.
They're doing well.
They are, man. There's another example, to think back, you know, like 10 years ago, and like they were just joking with you guys, and to see where they are now, if they don't step out of that comfort zone, they're only known to our community, you know. But to see them get recognised and to see them actually have the guts to, hey man, I'll give it a go. I don't care about the haters or stuff like that. If we fail, we fail. At least we give it a go, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have any words of wisdom or a bit of advice for the youngins coming through if they're trying to succeed in not only just the sporting arena but in life in general?
Oh, geez, that's a really good question. I think the only real advice I could give is it doesn't matter what you want to do, but do it the best you can, you know. If you're going to be a cleaner for the rest of your life, be the best cleaner. Be the best cleaner. If if it takes sacrifice and pride and dedication to be good at anything, whether it's sports or whether it's in your job or your passion, but you can't one day say I'm going to be the best cleaner, and then the next day I'm not going to clean that. You have to have that discipline and dedication, and don't be scared. Don't be scared. We have so many talented and beautiful people coming through in what they do. Don't be scared. Don't care what other people say. It's got nothing to do with them, you know. You only have to please yourself. At the end of the day, you have to please yourself and do good by yourself. I think those are the
Michael, bro.
only words.
That's mad.
Yeah. Drop some bombs today, Mr. Pickering.
I feel like we're still, getting debriefed for a tour or something.
Tour.
I don't know.
We're off to Lucky Eddie's.
Battle of the Bati. First game, O'Reilly's.
What?
Nah, seriously, man. Thank you very much for not only just being a mentor now to all the young ones coming through, but also to a lot of us older boys. You were there in the beginning as well from those crazy days in the AFRL tours. But thank you very much for just being that mentor to us boys, and always being an ear for us to start talking our crap. But thank you very much just for being there for us. And we're fully supportive too of whatever's AFRL is about to do, from grassroots all the way up. All of us older boys are keen to pitch in and help out wherever. But I think tomorrow it kicks off.
Yeah.
As you see in the link below, bang bang. I don't even know if it's gonna go. Is it gonna go?
It's gonna go.
Please let the link come up for once.
We'll link that for
No, thank you very much, Vinaka
Vinaka
for
brothers.
being there for us. And yeah,
Vinaka Tanganes, thank you for everything you guys are doing.
Naka Mr. Pickering. Any last shout out to anybody?
I just want to shout out to Salavute.
yeah,
If that guy gets his shirt off,
man,
you
Wow.
should see the cut like a snake. On his
man.
body. From 10 years ago to now, woo.
Still the same.
Watch out, where's Naguam?
Woohoo! It's Salah, man. The Tiger King, he is a prawn king.
Knock everybody.
Yo.
You know, me, I rep my flag, wrap my coffin in it. Fiji Bati Captain, none of you mess with it. Brought out from the land, this is where I'm from. None of you can take away my kite, BP blood.